The Green Queen's Secret. Why Alicent crowned Aegon II. Alicent Hightower did not just crown her son Aegon II because of some dying king's misunderstood last words. And if you believe that is the whole story, then congratulations. You fell for the official propaganda that the Greens have been selling for generations. The real reasons Alicent put that crown on Aegon's head are so much darker, so much more calculated, and so deeply rooted in years of fear, manipulation, and survival instinct that it makes every other power grab in Westeros look like child's play. This woman did not stumble into treason. She orchestrated a coup, and the motivations behind it will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about the Dance of the Dragons. If you are ready to go beyond the surface-level explanations and dive into the psychological warfare, the political desperation, and the twisted logic that starts the bloodiest civil war in Targaryen history, then subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we are exposing secrets that change the entire game. Let's address the elephant in the throne room first. The official story is that King Viserys, on his deathbed, told Alicent that Aegon should be king, supposedly referencing Aegon the Conqueror's prophecy about the prince that was promised. Alicent interprets this as Viserys changing his mind about the succession and naming their son Aegon as heir instead of Rhaenyra. Convenient, right? Almost too convenient. Here is the thing, though. Viserys was drugged out of his mind on milk of the poppy, barely coherent, and had spent literally decades consistently supporting Rhaenyra's claim. The idea that he suddenly changed his mind in his final drug-addled moments is about as believable as Cersei Lannister winning a Mother of the Year award. But Alicent clings to this interpretation like a drowning person clings to driftwood, and here's why. She needs this deathbed statement to be real, because without it, she is just committing treason. With it, she can frame the coup as following the king's final wishes, as being dutiful rather than power-hungry, as doing the right thing instead of the expedient thing. The deathbed words give her moral cover for actions she was probably going to take anyway, and that is the secret nobody wants to acknowledge out loud. Alicent was looking for an excuse, and Viserys, in his confusion, accidentally gave her one. Now let us talk about the real reason, the one that has been building for years like pressure in a volcano waiting to explode. Otto Hightower has spent 2 decades drilling one idea into Alicent's head with the consistency of water torture. If Rhaenyra becomes queen, she will have to kill your sons to secure her throne. There is no peaceful coexistence. It is either Aegon wears the crown, or Aegon wears a funeral shroud. Otto repeats this so many times in so many ways, using so much historical precedent and logical argument that it stops being a possibility and starts being an inevitable fact in Alicent's mind. Think about living with that fear for years. Every time you look at your children, you're not just seeing your sons, you're seeing future corpses unless you act. Every smile, every achievement, every moment of maternal pride is tainted by the knowledge that their mere existence is a threat to Rhaenyra's reign and therefore a death sentence waiting to be executed. That kind of constant psychological pressure does not just influence your decisions, it rewires your entire brain until survival becomes the only logic that matters. But here is where it gets even more twisted. Alicent is not wrong to be afraid. She's actually completely right that succession crises in Westeros get solved with blood more often than diplomacy. History is littered with examples of potential claimants being murdered, exiled, or forced to take the black to eliminate threats to the throne. Rhaenyra might not want to kill Aegon. She might genuinely hope for peace, but the political reality is that ambitious lords will always rally around a male claimant over a female one. And that makes Aegon a permanent source of rebellion, even if he personally wants nothing to do with the throne. And oh boy, does Aegon not want the throne. This is possibly the funniest and most tragic aspect of the whole situation. Alicent is crowning a son who would rather be literally anywhere else doing literally anything else, preferably something involving wine and women and zero responsibility. Aegon the Accidental King is not ambitious. He is not prepared. He is not even particularly interested in ruling. He's just a guy who likes to party, and now suddenly he is the centerpiece of a civil war. But Alicent cannot let his lack of ambition stop her, because this is not about what Aegon wants, it is about keeping him alive. The secret that makes Alicent's decision truly calculating is that she knows Rhaenyra. She knows her former best friend better than almost anyone, knows her strengths and weaknesses, knows how she thinks and how she will react. Alicent understands that Rhaenyra has blind spots, particularly around her own children and her husband Daemon. She knows that Daemon Targaryen, the most dangerous man in Westeros, will absolutely advocate for eliminating threats. And she knows that even if Rhaenyra resists at first, eventually the political pressure will make neutralizing Aegon seem like the practical choice. So Alicent makes the calculated gamble. If she crowns Aegon first, if she seizes the initiative and puts facts on the ground before Rhaenyra can consolidate power, then maybe, just maybe, her son survived this. It is not about ambition for Alicent. It is about turning her children from targets into players, from victims waiting to happen into kings and princes who have armies and dragons protecting them. She is not reaching for power. She is grabbing a weapon because she is convinced someone is about to attack her family. The role of the small council in this coup cannot be ignored either. Alicent is not operating alone. She has the backing of Otto Hightower, Criston Cole, and several other key players who have their own reasons for preferring Aegon over Rhaenyra. These men whisper support, provide resources, offer justifications, and generally make it easier for Alicent to do what part of her probably knows is wrong. It is easier to commit treason when you have a committee telling you it is actually justice, when you have institutional support making the immoral seem inevitable. Criston Cole deserves special mention here, because his personal vendetta against Rhaenyra adds fuel to the fire. Cole is a scorned lover turned zealot, and he is absolutely in Alicent's ear, reinforcing every fear, every suspicion, every reason why Rhaenyra cannot be trusted. His hatred is personal, but he frames it. What makes this decision so tragic is that Alicent genuinely believes she is doing the right thing. She is not a cartoon villain twirling a mustache and cackling about power. She is a mother who has been systematically convinced that the only way to protect her children is to put one of them on a throne he does not want, starting a war that will kill thousands, including potentially the very children she is trying to save. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and Alicent is sprinting down that road, carrying a crown and calling it love. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the Game of Thrones, sometimes the most dangerous players are not the ones who want power, but the ones who are absolutely terrified of what happens if they do not take it first.